Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Sophia Lucia Parola, your host with Garden State Film Festival. This year, from March 21st through March 24th, 2024, you can come check out the 22nd annual Garden State Film Festival. There are 200 films from 14 countries screening in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and Cranford, New Jersey. And one of the films you can check out is a short film called Swipe NYC. Here to talk to me about this lovely film is the lovely filmmaker herself, Sue Zarko Kramer. Sue, thank you so much for joining me and congratulations on your acceptance.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled. I was born in New Jersey, so I'm coming home to
Oh my
screen
gosh,
the
I didn't know
film.
that. Amazing.
I'm a Jersey girl.
I love that. And I am so inspired by you already, and that just makes it all the better. So I'm really looking forward to talking to you about this film today. But before we get into it, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am a filmmaker, writer, director, producer. I've been one of those lucky chosen people that have known what they wanted to do since I was 9 years old.
Mm.
And after I got stage fright doing Guys and Dolls in seventh grade and threw up after being a hot box girl, I was like, okay, I'm going to be behind the scenes. And that's going to be my life, and I'm going to be very happy. And that's what it's been ever since as a
Oh,
as a writer, director, and that's been my dream. And I went to UCLA Film School, and luckily have been blessed that pretty much since film school, been writing and directing and doing what I love, with the roller coasters of
amazing.
a Hollywood movie career, of the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows, as all of us artists do.
Absolutely, a very, unpredictable and consistent
Yeah.
industry, but you're killing it in the industry, I can see from your bio, and we are gonna talk about that later. But I love that, making your inner child happy, doing what you've always known you wanna do, and obviously it comes natural to you, so thank you for sharing. You were the writer, director, and producer on the short film Swipe NYC. Can you tell us a little bit about this film?
Sure. Swipe started first as an article that I wrote for Dorothy Parker's Ashes, which is this wonderful literary magazine. And it just was like a 2-page article about kind of being post divorce, empty nesting,
Mm.
what it looks like in the world of online dating. And that got a lot of attention. And I started thinking, okay, I'm going to write a novel. And I got a book agent, and I was writing the novel. And I've been a screenwriter my entire life. And so I took 4 months at the novel, and I was in hell. I was like, oh my God, writing a novel is so hard.
Mm.
But writing a screenplay for me seems to.
Oh, no, we just cut out real quick. I think she might come back. Hold on, guys. Oh no. Let me just let me just write in this chat and make sure.
Frozen. Are you there?
Okay,
Sorry,
there
you
we
were
go.
frozen
It
for a
just cut
second.
out real quick. Hi. Can you hear and
I
see me
think
okay?
we're frozen.
Okay.
I hope you can hear me.
Can you hear me? I'm typing it in the chat.
I don't know if we should start over.
I'm not sure
Hmm.
what our audiences can see.
I don't know what we should do because we're live.
Yeah,
So if
okay.
anybody can hear me, I'm thinking I'm just going to talk about
Yeah.
that. Swipe is my story about being post divorce, um, and having to be an empty nester and throwing myself into the world of online dating. And that's really what the film is about, with Lisa Edelstein starring, who is amazing, and Bridget Moynihan co-starring, and Richard Schiff, and an incredible cast of supporting actors. And it's really been a dream come true. We've been on the film festival circuit for the whole year. I mean, starting in May, where we premiered and won Best Film, and here we are.
Amazing. Can you hear me, Sue? Can you see me or hear me? Oh no.
I think we're having technical
Oh no.
difficulties, so I'm going to leave, and I think we're going to come back. Is what I'm
Yeah.
going to say.
Do that. Do that.
We'll be
Yes.
back. Promise.
Okay, guys. I don't know if you can see and hear me, but I can hear and oh, thank you, Ryan. Hello. I can hear you both as a viewer. Thank you. I'm just talking to our coordinator, guys. Hey, Taylor, can you see me? Am I
Can you see me again? I can't hear you. Now I can
Oh,
hear you.
no. Okay, you can hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Lovely. Thank you for that. Sue, I just want to say, you know you're in this industry because I was hearing you and seeing you and you kept going. So thank you for that, for just remaining calm and as lovely as you are, because we got the inspiration, we got what the film's about, and we're back on track now. So
Okay.
thank
We're
you.
back. Sorry, people.
So sorry, guys. Thank you. I think it just makes this live interview even all the better. And we see
This is
from the chat
this
that
is
somebody's,
showbiz.
yeah, this is showbiz. You gotta roll with the punches. So speaking of rolling with the punches, how was the process of making this short film? How long did it take you? And yeah, how was it for you as the writer
This is one
director?
of the joys of my life, truly. It took me 2 weeks to write, which is unheard of.
Uh-huh.
I gave it to Richard Schiff from the West Wing, who's an old friend first, and he read it in an hour and said when and where.
Wow.
And then it was Bridget Moynihan, and then going to Lisa Edelstein, who I knew from a friend. And it just took off. And then all of a sudden, friends said, "Can I give you money to help make it?" And we made it for a tiny budget. We made it for
Wow.
$50,000. And it really looks like at least 1 million. But we got favors. It was like Park Slope, where I live, came together as this community and
Mm,
wanted me as an empty nesting single mom,
mhm.
wanted to come together, and they supported me as a community. And so I shot it in 4 days,
Oh my gosh.
and I had the most incredible crew and the most incredible cast. And we just had the time of our lives. People were sleeping on my couch. People were on this table. I mean, I didn't even know. I would come in my bedroom and I was like, who's in my bed now?
Uh,
Like Lisa Edelstein would be sipping a cup of tea under the covers. And I was like, oh my God, Richard Schiff just came out of my bedroom. Everybody, like, it was unbelievable. Like,
mhm.
it was camp.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so it was amazing. My friend Dave Kelsey, who plays the amazing bartender, is kind of one of the first people to jump on board. He also is a producer on the movie. He was also in my bed. And we made it and then edited it and premiered it in May, and it won Best Film, was our premiere. And it's been winning lovely awards ever since. And
Wow.
it's been just the most gratifying experience, showing such an authentic, vulnerable piece of material, that's so semi autobiographical about myself. Lisa literally plays a version of me,
Mhm.
uh, and sharing it with audiences is amazing. It's amazing sitting in these giant theaters. Man Chinese is where we started, and
Wow.
like getting these unbelievable amounts of laughter, or like the or the, like all the reactions. And it's been really, really satisfying and
Ugh.
gratifying, and all of
It
it.
it sounds beautiful, and it's, like, so amazing just to hear you talk about this film. You could tell how personal and amazing and validating it is for you, which makes it all the better, and, how you're saying you were in your house looking at all these people in your house. That's how I felt watching your film too. I'm like, "Oh my god, this guy, this actor, like, incredible cast." Just, like, A-star cast. Your lead, Lisa, she's from the Girlfriend's Guides to Divorce. You have Bridget in the film. I mean, talk to me. So you talked about how you knew Lisa. How did you find this amazing cast? And yeah, how was casting?
I didn't know Lisa personally. I met Lisa once many years ago on Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, that a dear friend of mine was writing on the show. So I met her in passing. But that friend said Lisa would be amazing for this.
Wow.
And Richard Schiff said Lisa would be amazing for this. But then I got it to her agents. And they were like, no, she's busy. And I was like, oh, all right. And
Yeah.
then I wrote her on Facebook Messenger, and I was like, I know this is the most random thing ever. We don't know each other, but like we do know Richard Schiff, and we do. So I'm not like some psycho stalker, but I have this script, and she's just typing, going, well, let me take a look and I'll read it and get back to you. And I'm thinking it's going to take a couple of weeks. I said, that's so kind of you. Thank you.
Mhm.
She called me the next morning and said, I want to do this.
Wow.
And it just, then everything, the guns were blazing. We were off to the races. It was, she came on, Bridget, who I'd worked with on Gray Matters, which was a feature that I did, that
Mm,
with Heather Graham and Bridget and Molly Shannon and Sissy Spacek. And so Bridget and I knew each other from working together. And then I went to her to play the Pilates instructor, and she said yes and wanted to come on also as a producer. And so it was just this, one of those like serendipitous
uh,
moments in life where all the puzzle pieces all come together, and it just keeps coming. And that's literally this project has been that.
Wow. So just so meant to be, all these doors just opening right up for you. That's beautiful to hear. And what about the crew? Have you worked with, I know that this is obviously not your first film. You have this amazing feature on Amazon, and it's on like Netflix tops 20 list, just amazing things. Have you worked with your crew before? Or these people you've collaborated with?
I have not worked with my crew before, and they were spectacular.
Wow.
And so many, like, kind of just note to other filmmakers, a note to them is that I was interviewing all of these very high level DPs because
Mm,
I knew people in the business, and from the guy who shot Girls to just really A-list DPs. And everybody was like, oh, if I could fit it in, if I could fit it in, but I'm going off to do this, I'm going off to do that. Then I was like kind of convinced on like who I was settling in on at a DP. And then
mhm,
she took another job. And I really wanted this all female crew. And like that was a thing for me. And at the last minute, this like, really like I'm talking like in a horse race, this is like no chances to win. Guy comes out of the blue with no agent. And one of my producers said, I just looked at his reel. He's so talented. Why don't you just meet with him? And I was like, are you kidding? He has no agent. He's shot a feature or TV show. And this guy, Alex Haas, is a star and will probably win an Academy Award one day. He is a 27-year-old rock star
wow.
who knew cinema as if he was 70 years old. I could name anything, and he taught me with that shot and that shot, and we could do
Mhm,
it this way. And he became my partner. um, my editor, we went through three editors, that one thing led to another, that people weren't available. I ended up with Connor Sullivan, who was another, like, literally no chances in the horse race. And Connor is like, I want to work with these guys for the rest of my life.
oh,
I love them. I absolutely love them. Again, wanted a female editor. And it just so happened that this is what came to be. Bridget had never produced before. Dave Kelsey had not produced before, and they came on board. Cheryl Bear, who's a dear old friend, came on board. She's produced for a very long time, and I've known her forever in Hollywood. So she is somebody who I have, worked with before.
mm,
But it was just an incredible team, really team effort of everyone coming together. Cheryl got
yeah.
me my co-writer on the song. I mean, it was all just a beautiful team effort.
Shout out to everyone involved. And you talked a
Thank
little
you.
about like talking to this DP and directing. What was it like directing this, especially a piece that's just so personal for you? Was it different than past works that you've directed before? And what about directing Swipe NYC was different and specific to this project?
It wasn't different, I have to say.
Okay.
When I get onto a set, it's like a playground for me. I'm
Hmm.
like literally the kid in the sandbox. Like I am like so happy getting
Hmm.
on a set because writing is lonely.
Yeah.
I love writing, but it's also, it's a solo sport. So for me, it's like, oh my God, I'm around people, I'm around lights. I used to love visiting sets and going on to like the lots in Hollywood. I'd always get like, this is so great. I get like that on my own set. Um, so it wasn't different in terms of that. So no difference in terms of directing. I'm incredibly decisive. I don't like to
Mhm.
do a ton of takes.
Mm,
I love actors. Working with actors is one of my favorite things in the world to do. To guide them, but to also give them a ton of freedom.
mm,
So that wasn't different. The thing that was joyfully different
mm,
was that I didn't have a studio behind me telling me that I had to get this shot or that shot or coverage, or that I had to take out any sexual innuendo.
mhm,
I never had a studio executive whispering in my ear. I was in full control of my art.
mm.
And that is an amazing feeling.
Ugh. And talk to me about this music that you helped co-write. I mean, what is that even? What is, you helped write the lyrics?
I helped write the lyrics. I
Wow.
helped
So
write the
how
lyrics.
was, yeah, how was finding this artist and composing it and finding like writing the lyrics? What was, have you done something like this before?
I don't play an instrument, which I wish I did. And it's like my thing. Like that's something I always wanted to do. Um, I got turned on by Cheryl Bear, one of my producers, we kept looking for this song and we couldn't find it. And then we kept looking for composers and we couldn't find like what was great with the film. And then she introduced me to Tamsin, who is this performer and a songwriter. And she works very much on many projects with a co-writer named Dylan. And she introduced me to Tamsin and Dylan, and they said, let me, you know, get a crack at this song that you want to be like the score of your whole movie. And so they did about like 3, 4 different cracks. And I was
Mhm.
like, wow, you guys are so talented, but it's just so far off. And they're so talented. And so I was like, huh. And they said, well, should we try one more time? I said, sure. And they tried one more time and it just wasn't it. And every time I'd be going to like acupuncture, putting in my earphones as I came out from acupuncture, hoping like, is this going to be it?
Mhm.
It wasn't it. And then I decided one day, you know what? I'm going to call them and realize that I've written so much poetry about this journey,
Mm,
about the journey of getting divorced, of thinking that you're going to live a life a certain way and feeling lost.
mhm,
And that's the name of the title track is Lost. And I had written many poems about losing my compass and
mm,
that it was just I didn't know north or south. I didn't know where I was going. And so I started writing these as lyrics, and I said, how about if I give you guys lyrics and maybe together we can do this together? And I was thinking this is the most random way of working, but who knows? And so I didn't really have much faith, to be honest, that it was going to work. And then I did the same thing coming out of acupuncture, put my earphones on, and I was like, huh. All of a sudden I heard it. And I stopped in front of Haagen-Dazs and I sat on the bench. I didn't get ice cream. I sat at the bench and tears were rolling down
uh,
my face. And I was like, this is the song. This is the feeling. This is lost.
mm,
This is what she feels. This is what this character's heartbeat is. And that was it. And
mm,
it went on Spotify and got 100,000 hits the first week. Um, so yeah,
yeah,
it's been that really one of those crazy
wow.
stories.
This is, I mean, I could talk to you all night, which I won't. We're already over time, but I really want to ask you 2 more questions. The
Sure.
first is, as we talked about, this is not your first rodeo. You have feature films. You worked for like Nickelodeon. I dropped my paper, but you have an extensive bio, guys. Read up on this woman. She's phenomenal and just super inspiring. What have you learned in your career thus far? I know it's a lot, but what would you say is like the most important thing that really just contributed to your success as a writer and as an artist?
I'd say one word, perseverance.
Mm, I love that. Just don't give up, right?
Because art is hard and
Mhm,
it's also subjective.
mhm,
And it's also who you know in certain places, and it's also timing. And for instance, Gray Matters, which is my feature on Amazon, came out worldwide. And at the time, didn't get a giant audience. It came out theatrically worldwide. It came out in like
mhm,
30 countries
mm,
and now has this massive following on Amazon because it's a gay love story. And back then, it was before its time. But
mhm,
now it's very much like, yeah, of course Heather Graham's gay, versus before critics would say, I can't believe she put Heather Graham as a gay girl in her story.
mhm,
Like, so it's timing can be part of it, but perseverance is really my middle name because if
mhm,
I ever listened to the critics of back then, or if I heard the voices in my head that come from the outside, echoing of often telling artists to give up or they're not
mhm,
in vogue or that's not what they're looking for. It's really just to persevere and also to listen to your voice of what is most authentic. This is my most authentic piece of writing and directing, and it's been my most successful in terms of an audience, just like everyone just wanting more of it, which says something about authenticity. So I say write what you know and lean into it.
yeah, I love that, and speaking of wanting more, watching this film, I really did. I was like, "All right, I could see this being like a series," or I wanted more, so I'm one of those people who do want more. But last question for you, Sue, How does it feel having Swipe NYC at Garden State Film Festival, especially the 22nd year? And what are you hoping audiences get out of watching it?
First of all, it feels great. I love Asbury Park. I love Bruce Springsteen. He's my favorite part of New Jersey. About New Jersey. I used to go to the boardwalk with my parents, and so I have really fun memories of like the carousel and kind of all that, and the Stone Pony, and all the great things that are in Asbury Park. So super
Mm,
excited to be in that area by the shore. In terms of audiences, I'm just happy to be, I'm a New Yorker, but coming back, like a homecoming to New Jersey. So I'm just hoping that audiences go on the ride with me, just are
mhm.
there to laugh and eat it up. And the most wonderful thing about Swipe is that 21-year-olds to 65-year-olds come up to me every time and go, "How do you know my story? How is that even
Yeah.
possible? How could you possibly know what I feel?" And that's an amazing feat as an
Mhm,
artist, to have it relate to every age.
mhm.
Even though, I'm 50, it's, turning 50 was like a milestone, and is kind of part of the piece, but it doesn't matter that it
Mm.
relates to everybody. So I hope that at the Garden State Film Festival, I hope it'll relate to everybody as well.
I love that. It has been really such an inspiring time talking to you, and I'm so excited for audiences at Garden State Film Festival to watch this film, and I really hope I get to meet you in person. Let me tell everyone watching how you can see Swipe NYC. Get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets and come see it Saturday, March 23rd from the film block 6:15 to 8:30 p.m. at Asbury Hotel. You don't want to miss it, guys. An
And I'll
amazing
be there.
film.
I
Yes.
will definitely be there, and some surprise guests will be there. And please also follow us on our Instagram, which is on Instagram swipe.nyc. And that will also tell you anything that's coming up, including the Garden State Film Festival.
I love it. Perfect. Thank you so much again. Thank you for just being an amazing person to talk to and giving us all these amazing words of wisdoms. Congratulations again, and I will see you at Garden State Film Festival soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.